Welcome back, everyone. Toyshiz here, and I am back yet again to give you guys another fresh look. And today we are totally checking out the brand new Target exclusive, the 3 3/4 inch, basically Star Wars The Vintage Collection repaints. Of course, this is Star Wars Droids, of course, based off the old 80s cartoon, The Adventures of R2D2 and C-3PO, and Boba Fett is thrown in there as well. Boba Fett, of course, being a very popular character, but really nice card art overall. Now, I'm going to open these, but I'll tell you right off the bat, if you aren't an opener, if you're just going to keep it just for the packaging and the look, you're set. Video's over. Don't even worry about it. However, I'm going to pull these things out, and, you know, there's some issues here and there, just saying. But I do like the card art for what it is. I like to see the backside. Shows off all three of the characters from this line. You got C-3PO, R2D2, and Boba Fett, of course, the animated Boba Fett. And you got little write-ups right here, basically one sentence for each character. And here's the barcode as well. Now, like I said, these are starting to hit Target store shelves. I pre-ordered these, I think, back in June, right? For me, these days, Star Wars, like classic, vintage-looking Star Wars re-releases are right up my alley. I still haven't gotten my pre-order, but I did walk into a Target, and they had these on the shelf. I had C-3PO for quite some time, but it's just Boba Fett and R2D2 hitting now. And speaking of which, R2D2, as shown right here, the best part, I'm going to be honest with you, about these figures is you get a collector's coin, and then you get some really awesome artwork. I really dig that. And looking at the figures, man, I wish that would have translated to them. And then the same thing with C-3PO, right? You got the really nice card art, and then you have the really nice illustration right there of C-3PO and R2D2, but yeah, it just doesn't translate to the figures. But we'll talk about all that in just a second. So sit back, relax, grab yourself a nice hot cup of coffee, get ready for Star Wars Celebration early. This is a look at the brand new Hasbro's Target exclusive Star Wars Droids, The Adventures of R2D2 and C-3PO, guest starring Boba Fett. Let's check them out. And while I got all you great heaps here, I just want to say thanks so much for always checking out my videos. If you haven't already, please do consider subscribing. Old toys, new toys. Heck, I'll be at Star Wars Celebration 22, so you know there's going to be plenty of info there. I guarantee you'll find something here that you like. So, everything's out of the packaging now. The coins, the figures, what little weapons there are. But you are getting, now here's how I'm going to lay this out. You're getting 3 repainted prior released figures made to look kind of sort of like the Droids animation. And you get really nice, we'll say, Challenger coins, right? Those are pretty cool. C-3POs, they all have a different write-up. They're a fairly heavy coin. They're a nice pack-in. I'll give it to them. It's old-fashioned. It's retro-y. It's got 50th anniversary all over it. It's cool. I like it. So with C-3PO, like I said, it's kind of sort of matching. If you look at the animation, yes, they didn't resculpt these. It's just repaints and redos. And I gotta say, it's a huge letdown with what we see with all these other companies, like NECA, for example, with their cartoon turtles. They're so spot on. My C-3PO has a big, giant crack down the side where the plastic has split. That's not cool at all. That's really janky. Man, that is really disappointing. It's there. I guess I have to glue it or something. Just not happy with that. But the articulation on these, especially C-3PO, is very stuck. Yes, like I said, for how they can, for repurposing it, it looks like Star Wars Droid C-3PO. The back thing keeps popping off right here. It's driving me nuts. Fell off in the packaging. It keeps popping off every time. Yeah, see, it's annoying. I don't know why that's a thing right there. It must be something from the show that I don't remember. But I like the McFarlane side-eye that they got going on. That at least has expressive eyes, like the Droids cartoon show that he had, as weird as it was. But yeah, the figure is just, yeah, it's all right. And then you have R2D2, which I think out of the two right here so far, he fares a lot better. At least you can work with him a little bit better in terms of the cartoon colors. I like the whites to the gray of the dome to the blues. He doesn't have anything on the back. He doesn't really have much on the back, but some gray would have been nice just to match it up. It gets very boring, right? It's just all the paints on the front, and like I said, you know, it's repurposing a prior released R2D2 with the colors And then this was confusing to me because I haven't had this figure before. So you try and open up the compartment right here. I had to speed up the camera because it takes forever to open these things up, right? And I'm thinking, yeah, there's going to be like a dozen attachments. That would be really cool. Much like the illustrative cover on the front of the packaging. But no, it just kind of does that. And then you have the top part right here, which totally confused me because, right, I'm pulling this out. I'm going, okay, so this pops out. And it's supposed to be one of his little, like, beep boop satellite things, or it could be the lightsaber, I guess. I don't know. And then you start flipping the dome around, and then it spins, and you can see it kind of covers it up until it comes right back here. Well, that's what really confused me, because then I was like, what are you really supposed to do with that? And to be honest with you, I don't really know what you do with it. It just kind of comes out and there's nothing to hook on. There's a hole in the top of his head, nothing hooks into that, so you got these weird arms. But then, because I was messing with this, I realized, oh, you push the little third leg up and then that pops up, so that kind of helps in kind of pushing it down. I don't know, I would have liked so many more crazy droid-esque attachments for R2D2. Heck, just to have him look like how he does with all the different marks, like to match the illustration, give him a little bit of a deco. Again, with all these companies that do all these awesome cartoon-related figures, and Hasbro just goes, here you go, I guess this is good enough. Well, I mean, look at Boba Fett now. Now, I'm one of those suckers where I go, you know, I really like the animation colors for Boba Fett, and I like what this looks like, but when you touch it and feel it, it's like crispy. You know what I mean? And fabric shouldn't be crispy. It should be soft goods, right? And you got the gun. There's no paint on that. There's really little to no paint. There's nothing on the backpack either. And in the cartoon show, if you watch it, in some of the episodes where, you know, he's got paint. So there is little blue marks and stuff that should be there, but it's just all the solid, like, beige color. And it's so disappointing to see. On top of that, I mean, nothing matches really the look in the first place of how he looks from cartoon to more of a realistic movie Boba Fett, which they've used. The legs are incredibly stuck, and when you try to move him, he pops off at the thigh right there. And that's just, I mean, nothing breaks, but at the same time, much like C-3PO coming apart at the seams, that's not cool at all. It does the same thing on this side. These aren't very good at all. I could not recommend these to you. I recommend them in the sense if you're Star Wars collectors and you want to keep these in the box. See, even as now, you can't even move it. You try and nothing moves in the leg. The knees are especially stuck as well. But like I was saying, you keep these in the box, you'll never know it. They're a nice little art piece for your collection. Sure, why not? But if you're one of those, you want to open it up and display it and have some fun, there's little to be had here. It's just kind of like, again, here's what we think of with the droids, here's a figure we released, and there you go. You know what I mean? And for me, if you look at, let's say, some of my favorites, which is like Power of the Force C-3PO, all the chrome and everything. Not saying that this figure has to have chrome, but it's night and day in terms of the quality and everything. This could have been so cool if they would have redesigned these figures and then done more from the droids and had them match their animation counterparts. That would have been so cool. You've had all these years. Yes, I know they've done droids figures in the past, way back when, but are these really an upgrade? I would say no. It's more of a backtrack. All these years to do some awesome, cool new stuff, nothing happens. Even with the Power of the Force Boba Fett. To this Boba Fett, yeah, the articulation for what works is there. They're super articulated. They look a lot more spot on than they used to, but then they don't look spot on to the cartoon, and that, for me, is a bummer. Yeah, I can see that totally in the packaging before opening these things up, but if we're really talking, like, putting in effort and making it so that it looks like what it's supposed to look like, Hasbro completely dropped the ball on these. So it's a big disappointment, to be honest with you. And in comparing, let's say, to old Power of the Force figures, I mean, they can kind of sort of go, right? Even Han Solo's gonna got that long face like the old animation, right? Who knows? So in all honesty, no, I'm not going to recommend these. They're not spot on to the cartoon. They're barely making the passing grade in terms of like, oh, that's from Droids, right? That's what you would say. But the looks, the accessories, just the idea of some of the joints and the parts and pieces don't work properly. So no, I would say it's complete pass if you're going to be opening these things up anytime soon. So that's going to wrap it up for my look at the brand new Hasbro Star Wars Droids Target Exclusive R2D2 C-3PO and animated Boba Fett. And again, as I'll reiterate, keep them in the package. Sure, they're great. I like the coins. There's some great aspects to these things, but largely they're a letdown to me. I would have loved a brand new sculpted line. Keep it going. Do the deco. Make them look like they jumped right out of the cartoon. That would have been awesome. But instead, it's kind of the way that Star Wars has been going lately with action figures, and it's a bummer. That's why it's few and far between what I really pick up and where I gravitate towards those 90s figures all the time and go, you know what, I was happy then and I can just live there. That's perfect. But as always, I'm curious to know what you guys think about these new Droids figures. Are they for you? Will you be grabbing? Have you already? Comment below, let me know. Let's talk everything Star Wars Droids. And I'm going to leave you guys with that. As always, drink some great coffee, eat some great food, but most importantly, remember, see, just putting that extra deco on, all the heavy black lines, animated lines, man, that would have been killer. And when you do, let me know what you found. I'll talk to you guys soon. Adios.